Hello, friends. Welcome to Soul Steps. I am really excited about the weather. Doesn't look like much now, but it's going up to 80 degrees today. So I have a sweatshirt on, but I really didn't need it. It's just adding more warmth, raising my core body temperature. Anyhow, I wanted to hop on here for a few minutes and tell you a little bit about how things is going with my caregiving journey, taking care of my mom, providing end-of-life care as she is on hospice. And a funny thing happened last night. So my mom's an ordained Baptist minister, and she was chaplain of the auxiliary to the National Medical Association some years back, maybe 2015, 16, in the teens. And so she's been very active, having gone to the NMA meeting many times, as my dad was a member. And so she's got some lovely friends from there. So last night I get a call from a woman named Alice. She calls my phone and she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to get you. I was trying to get in touch with Minister Wren and I didn't have her number, so I just Googled it and I got her number, which was my number." And so I said, it was late at night. She says, "I can call in the morning." I said, "No, you can talk now. Let me go down there." So mom was up. So they're having a conversation, but I'm standing there in part because it's my phone. And also, it's kind of sometimes good to monitor the conversation, since my mom's response time is a little slow and people don't give her enough time to think and respond, which is sometimes I have to kind of coach them to say, just wait a minute, just thinking. So the woman was calling in part to offer condolences on the loss of my father, which was back in July. I guess they hadn't talked since then. And she was checking in on her for that. So she goes, "Well, how have you been? How are you doing?" And she's like, "Wonderful." And she goes, "Oh, that's so good to hear." And she goes on about different things that she's planning and for the ANMA. And then she says, how are you doing physically? And my mom says, "Great." So I'm thinking all right, she hasn't talked with her in a while. I need to find a way to I wasn't going to say anything in the moment because I really don't know who this person is. I never heard of her. I don't know. My mom's not a private person at all. So it wasn't that I was worried that she didn't want anyone to know. I think that she maybe just didn't, maybe she was actually just feeling really good. So I didn't want to yuck on her yay or anything. So they keep talking. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm planning an ANMA meeting in Pittsburgh. And, what, are you able to get around and travel much?" And my mom says, "Well, since my husband died, it's been hard." And she's like, "Oh, I understand." So I'm like, all right, that's the choice. My mom is choosing to respond in this way, fine. So then they go on and talk about some other people that they know in common. And I say, "Oh, well, hey, is this your cell phone? Is this a number I can text?" Because I'm thinking I could just text her the information. And she's like, "Well, no, this is a very old phone. Doesn't do all that." I said, "Okay, well, let me call you from my mom's phone so that you can have her phone number." And she was like, "All right." So I hung up and I called her from my mom's phone, and they wrap it up. And I thought about it later, and I was like, you know what? I probably will go back and call her or think about ways to like maybe send out a message to the ANMA. I mean, I am submitting a proposal for the NMA meeting this year, so if it's accepted, I'll be there to see people. But the people in your life may want to know that your health is declining, so they have an opportunity to see you or call you or spend some more time with you. So I was like thinking about that, but mostly I was thinking about like the graces and the joys, like the joys of this week where I got my mom out of the bed for the first time in maybe a month, put her in the chair. I got a new cushion for her, and her friend got her an exercise thing, and we've been able to, she spent like 3 hours on Thursday and then again on Friday, and I realized like in the nursing home they would put her in the chair. She really was quite uncomfortable in the chair, and then she'd have to wait to be put back in the bed, and it was a whole big thing. So I don't use a Hoyer lift. I have my own like technique of transferring her, and it's really not that hard. It does require some strength, but I work out, as you can see. So anyhow, but these like graces and joys and miracles of every day, and I counted this one too, even though I was like, well, she's not really being fully clear about her health status, but at the same time, maybe it reflected a truth that she had. Maybe she was really excited to hear from this person, and it brought her joy. And I think it was a surprise. Haven't heard her talk like that, and it made me just think about the ways in which I'm speaking of her status. A lot of people want to know how she's doing, how is her health, and I feel like when you say that someone's on home hospice, that's a lot of information right there. But a lot of people will follow up and ask for more details. And I never really know exactly what to say because, I put everything on my personal Facebook page, so I feel like the people who I would want to know will know in detail. But everyone else, I'm like, well, she's got metastatic breast cancer and a stage 4 ulcer, so, But I don't really feel that way. I'm fighting every day to optimize her health, to fight the cancer in ways that are not conventional. There was a woman, it was like a Dr. Mom group, and there was a woman who like cured herself from cancer. I don't know if she was a doctor or not, but either way, there's like a lot of doctors refer to this person, and I don't even know the name of the book. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll put it in the description. I'll look it up. But my main takeaway from going to her website, she's now since passed, but was this like high quality olive oil from some ancient olive trees that you can just take a tablespoon of it a day, and it helps to provide your body with some chemical that is helpful for healing. And then, my other friend who's a radiation oncologist had recommended that my mom take a supplement that is in early stage investigations for triple negative breast cancer. And the nursing home wasn't actually giving her this regularly, which is crazy. But for another post. So I had like 2 extra months of that. So I've been giving that to her and, getting her nutrition and everything. These are all ways that we are choosing life and promoting life. We haven't just accepted that her fate is sealed, because her fate is in God's hands. So, it's the Lent season, and I have a morning devotion routine that includes listening to a bunch of different stuff on the Hallow app. And today there was an interview with the actor who plays young David in House of David. And he told about his conversion story at St. Patrick's Cathedral, which outside the cathedral there's a statue of Atlas, this half God, half man figure with the weight of the world on his shoulders, kind of buckling under the weight of the world. And inside the cathedral, there's a statue of child Jesus holding the world in his hand. And they talked in that reflection about that juxtaposition and how, the world tells you to rely on your own reason and understanding and knowledge. And the invitation that God has for us is to fully rely on God and to trust in his plans, and to lean not on our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge him, and he will direct our paths. Talking loud because the airplane. Anyway, so that is the contrast. And I think that my mother's conversation, I really didn't even realize it until this morning, because I kind of had my instinct was like, don't say anything. But then I'm like, this morning, I'm like, well, what is she thinking and feeling? And, I think that her comment really reflects trust in God's plan. She's not sitting around saying like, woe is me, even on her bad days. And she did have kind of a rough day 2 days ago where she didn't eat very much, and she was pretty crabby when I was trying to force her. And I was trying to force her. I was kind of like gently reminding. She was like, not right now. And it was like the day went by and she only had 8 ounces of her nutritional drink. She's supposed to have 3 of them a day. And so like, even though you might have a day like that, yesterday was the evening where she said she was feeling wonderful, where she said her physical health was great, where she enjoyed, me playing some old hymns on my one-handed flute, and she said it was magnificent. So, we do not number our own days. Days of our lives are not known. And even if you think like that you are in control, or you can somehow control your life, there's so many things that you can't control. So even if you can control one thing in your life, you're still not in control of your entire life. Like, I could decide to get up in the morning and go for a walk and exercise. I made that choice, but I didn't control the weather. I didn't control, I don't control anything that's going to happen after this today. There's a lot that I don't control. So it's like a fallacy. The things that we do in our own effort can make us believe that we are in control in ways that we are not. And it is important to remain humble and know that God is in control. And that's the only thing that is true. So I know this wasn't like a focus soul steps. I don't even know if any of them ever are focused because it's spirit led. But I wanted to come on here today and just share some time with you. So, I try to I love it when it's almost 15 minutes like this, because I'm like, it's just 15 minutes. You could be laying in your bed. You could be stretching. You could be getting ready to work out, and just spend, just 15 minutes with me to listen about a topic. And maybe it raises some questions for you and you want to continue the conversation in the comments, or maybe you want to share it with someone. Definitely, I think if you're going through this caregiving journey in any way, shape, or form, I'm hoping that this can be helpful to you. to kind of see me in real time go through things. There's no roadmap, there's no guideline. There are some books that people have written, and thought about reading some of them. There's a book called They Left Us Everything, which has to do with like how do you deal with the belongings that your parents leave behind. And I've definitely got a house full of decisions in New Jersey to be made, and I'm definitely going to be deferring that decision. I plan to just pack everything up and move it to Georgia and sort through it at some future time. But I will be trying to make some decisions along the way. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on with this journey and this process. And I don't think we're meant to go through it alone. So hopefully you took some steps with me, and pray for me. I'm praying for you. And remember to move your body with love and intention today. And always remember that I love you. Bye.